Most people aren't small because they lack information. They're small because they think way too much and train too little. Lifting isn't that complicated, but it's been made to be out way more complicated than it is over the past few years. I'm going to explain to you why simplicity, effort, and consistency is way more important and is going to take you a lot further than obsessing over the science. Obsessing over things like perfect tempo, exact angles, maybe even like the best program to run. These things, they're not going to help you as much as you think they will, especially in the very beginning. If you're doing all this and you're not getting any bigger, information clearly isn't the bottleneck. Execution is. I've been there. After my first ever lifting session, I was hooked. I knew that the gym was going to be somewhere that I'll come back to time and time again for years. So after that day, I went home and watched a lot of educational videos on lifting because I wanted to get bigger muscles so I could get more girls. After around a week or two, I found a video over the topic of myo reps. I'm not going to go into detail what myo reps is, but I wanted to implement myo reps into my next workout. I thought that, man, this is what I need. This is what I need to get bigger. I'm going to do this. So the next day I went to go, it was chest day. I went onto the bench the first thing, and then I started doing myo reps on bench. And then the biggest guy in the gym, he was there, he just walked in, and he came in to greet me and said, "What are you doing?" I was a little flabbergasted, and then I was still a novice, so I couldn't really explain what myo reps were at the time to him. So then I was kind of just rambling over my words. Then he understood, and he was like, "Yeah, I know what myo reps are, but you don't need to be doing that. You're overcomplicating your lift. Just stick to the basics." He taught me that I was overcomplicating a little bit, and he was right. Why would I change something that isn't broken? I wanted to get a bigger chest. Why would I do something just super weird and super niche to get in an effort to get a bigger chest, even though that the original method already works? Even now, whenever I go hit biceps, sometimes I would want to do Bayesian cable curls, which is basically where you're on the cable stack, you put it to either your hand height or below, and then you curl facing away from the cable stack. Sometimes I don't feel this in my bicep. I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure out why that's the case, but sometimes I just don't feel it in my bicep. And then I'll do 3 sets, and then after 3 sets, then I'll think, and I'll be like, I didn't even feel that in my bicep. Why did I just do that? I should have just did classic dumbbell curls because I would have felt it there, and I know that. I want to do Bayesian cable curls because I know that the science says that they are probably better. But is there even a point to it if I don't feel it in my bicep? If I'm not even feeling it in the muscle group that it's intended to target? Is there a point? If you're not feeling an exercise in the muscle group that it's supposed to hit, don't even do the exercise. Do something else. Why would you do something that's not even activating the muscle group that you want it to activate? Why exhaust yourself on a lift that you're not even connecting with? Even if it's supposed to be scientifically better, what's the point? Don't waste your energy on an exercise just because someone told you it's the most optimal thing to do. If you connect with the classic standing dumbbell curls the most, then do that. You don't have to do whatever's the best scientifically. The perfect angle, the perfect rep range, the perfect tempo, none of that matters if you don't have the basics nailed down. Train hard consistently, push close to failure, progressive overload, recover hard, eat right. Notice how whenever people talk about the basics of lifting, they don't mention rep ranges, they don't mention exact angles to train your bicep at. These are things that come after the basics. These are things that whenever you have the basics down, then you think about these things. There are 2 types of guys. The first guy knows everything, but looks small because he wants to spend his time learning more information so he could train better. But in doing so, he doesn't even train. So he's just small. And then there's the second guy who knows very little and just goes to the gym and just trains hard. That's all he does. That guy is going to be way bigger than guy number 1. Which guy do you want to be? Stop thinking and start lifting. You know what to do. Get up and get after it.